Guitar geeks, amplifier aficionados, and purveyors of effects pedals. Today on the 7-minute mark, we're going to do some Pro Tools, and we're going to go ahead and learn about the VCA, the Voltage Control Amplitude track, which is going to help me control a bunch of different tracks without having to move the volume on each one. I can control them as a group, and that's what we're trying to do here. So what we're going to do is, I've got one already created here for my drum tracks. Basically, when I go ahead and move the fader up and down, you can notice here and then here and even below that, these tracks are gonna move. You can adjust the different tracks within, so there's no problem adjusting that. How do I create it? Here's how I create it. Track, new. We choose the VCA master. Hit create. And it moved it all the way down here at the bottom, which is fine for my illustration purposes. It's also close down here where we can see my track list and we can see my group list. What next? Now I have to create a group that I want to control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Voc 15 and the Voc 16 and I'm going to group them together. I click them, I hold shift, go to track, I say group them. They show up into the group. The group name is called group 1. You can call it anything you want. I'm going to leave it as group 1 here for this illustration. We go ahead and we hit OK. We go back down to the VCA 2. It's not attached to any group here, so we're going to click the group, and then we see group 1 down there. We go ahead and we hit it, and now it's going to control the volumes of these two groups. So let's go ahead and test it out. We'll lower it, and as you can see, the volumes come down together as a group. I can even go ahead and I can adjust them simply by going like that, and now they're at 0 and 4/2. It'll still go ahead and adjust them accordingly. So if you have to tweak your volumes on your tracks, you can do it, but if you need to lower them as a group because you want to hear something better, or maybe it's not sitting in the mix the way you want, you can go ahead without having to do each one. So we go ahead and we put it back up to 0, and they're going to lay the way they were. What happens if you want to modify this? How do you do that? It's very simple. We go down to the group list, and this little button right here, it's going to be clicked, and your track list and your group list, it's gone. You want to view that at any time when you're making a session. You click it again, it opens back up, and now you have these tracks that you're doing, and you have the groups that you're doing. We go over to the group 1. We're going to right click on it. It's going to go to modify. When you hit modify, it brings up both tracks that are in the group or anything that's in the group. If you want to add something to the group, like the snare effects, you can. You want to take it out, you take it out. You can take them out. And if you take them out and there's nothing in there and you try to hit OK, you're going to get this message. It's going to say you have not chosen at least one track for the group. Well, that's a pain in the ass, right? You want to maybe delete the group. So what you do is you just cancel it back out. The group is still intact. You would go back down to the group list. You right click on it and you say, I want to delete that group. Now it's not going to delete your tracks that are in your session. It's going to delete the grouping of those tracks. Let's be clear on that. So you hit delete. It's going to ask you if you want to delete. It's undoable. You say yes, and now you notice the tracks are not affected by this volume anymore. There's nothing there. Now you want to get rid of the useless VCA track because it's not attached to anything. Go back up to track, hit delete, and now it's gone. And it's not coming back unless you want to create a new one. And that's how simple it is. So, if you like the video, please subscribe. I'm going to do more of these tutorials, make them simple. Hopefully we understand everything that is coming across. And I want to thank you all. See you on the other side, man. Peace.